So Arsenal win 2-1, and for some it was a boring match. For some it was a bit of exciting in spells, but majority of it was basically a controlled performance by the Arsenal. But it was overshadowed by what happened at the final whistle. Whereas we see Zinchenko and Benjamin White having an argument, and Arteta had to intervene and be that peacemaker. So these are the images showing the argument. You see Zinchenko reacting. So it was said that Benjamin White basically was critical, or was criticizing Zinchenko for the goal that was conceded, because all the defensive line was in line together. Benjamin White, Gabriel, Saliba, the all three was in line, but Zinchenko was drifting back, playing that right winger on side. So I believe that was the reason. It's been said by lots of people that that's the reason why. I'm not totally sure, to be honest, but it's been said that that's the reason why Benjamin White is having a go at Zinchenko. And to be fair, if that's the case, I understand, because this is why. This is what Zinchenko reminds me of. Watch this.
Darrell, what are you doing?
I'm trying to help lift. 1, 2, 3.
I promise you. He ain't doing anything at all.
Come on.
Darrell, that's terrible. You should be helping.
Mom, look at me.
You ain't doing nothing.
Come on. You got in there softly? Move.
Nah, you gotta yeah.
Now, this is exactly sometimes when I see Zinchenko playing in my defense. That's how I feel. This guy is basically using these two fingers holding up the defensive line. You know what I mean? That's how I feel sometimes. But to be fair on Zinchenko, he's been okay in this match. He's been good in defensive display, and for me, he's one of the best players on the pitch. If it wasn't for how Gabriel Jesus played, I would have gave Zinchenko the man of the match, because the way he was playing, he gave a lot of through balls. He did a lot of balls cutting between the midfield lines, cutting even the defensive lines. He was doing a lot in the attacking spell, and even defending, he was doing well. Standing challenges, but when it comes down to situations like that, like players having a run on him, that's when he's weak. That's when you see his frailties. When he's getting back to block crosses, those are two of his weakest points, I would say. Getting back to block crosses, to shut down crosses coming in, and also ball going over the top, or ball going behind him, and he has to run and challenge a defender, challenge the attacker. That's where he's weak at. So those two things. Apart from that, it was very good in this match, even in his defensive play. But Benjamin White isn't having none of it. And if it's the other way around, where Zinchenko's having to go at Benjamin White, wow, now that's even worse. If Zinchenko's having to go at Benjamin White, that's worse. But I think it's the other way around, because Zinchenko got so angry that Arteta had to console him, and after the match, Arteta is saying that, listen, the argument started because they're pushing each other and they love to see it, encourages it, which I also encourage that. Just know that, don't take it too far, but I love to see things like this, because it shows that the players care. And if they didn't care, they wouldn't reacted like this. They wouldn't be behaving like this. And for a very long time, I'm saying that I need to see my team basically shouting at each other, getting angry at each other. Obviously, in a respectable manner, getting angry at each other, holding each other accountable for the mistakes they make, right? And no one should get away with this. Even Odegaard being the captain, he should not get away with this. Any player consistently making mistakes, like, they need to be highlighted, they need to be figured out, right? And this is what happened to Zinchenko. So going into the video, we're going to take a look at some of the stats in this game and see how defensive. People might be criticizing also, but when you see the defensive, how Nottingham Forest was set up defensively, in terms of how the low block was, how low the low block was, then you might have a bit of understanding. So let's get into the stats right now. So this was Nottingham Forest defensive heat map, one of the lowest of low blocks, often 21 of 22 players in the final third of Nottingham Forest. Now, 21 of 22, there's only one player missing there, and that's David Raya, our keeper. He's the only player that's not majority of the time in the final third of Nottingham Forest. So they set up a low block, and that I saw that from the way I saw. There was no Elanga, there was no Hudson Odoi, so they were playing Woods up top with Gibbs White, and basically playing that alternate role. Gibbs White was helping and dropping back in midfield, but Gibbs White is always brilliant when I see him play. He's absolutely brilliant. He's a fantastic player. I believe that they're going to lose him in the summer transfer window because he's so good. So Nottingham Forest defensive line was very, very, very deep deep. And especially that Brazilian defender, Murilo. He's sick. He was everywhere today. If it had not been for him, I know we would have scored more goals in this match. So this was the lineup today where we see David Ryan goal, Benjamin White with a 7.3 rating. I think he deserves that. William Saliba with a 7.3. To be fair, I believe that William Saliba should have a lower rating. He was bullied today by that. I forgot his name. The guy that came out in the second half that scored a goal, he got bullied. He absolutely got bullied. 2 times I see William Saliba got bullied by one player, which is not often. So I believe that these are the things I'm talking about. That sometimes Gabriel is the one that protects the defense. It's not all the time with Saliba, but fans, most of the time, they don't recognize the qualities of Gabriel unless he scores a goal. If he doesn't score a goal, no one recognize what he does for the team. But if it's William Saliba, you start hearing them singing, "Oh, Saliba!" When it's William Saliba. When it's Gabriel, everyone turns a blind eye, finds someone else for their favorite player. But for me, Gabriel Magalhaes was exceptional today, and having a 7.1 rating, to me, even the stats are biased. Even the stats are biased as well as the fans, to give Gabriel Magalhaes a lower scoring than William Saliba. He was better than Saliba for me today. Zinchenko with 8.1 as what I said. That's a fair score because I believe Zinchenko was brilliant apart from potentially playing that player onside. If it was Gabriel J, for me, he would have had the man of the match. Smith Rowe, another good player, having a very good half. It wasn't the best of performances, but I saw it. Smith Rowe he adds a different dimension to a team. And for me, he plays a similar like Aaron Ramsey. The way Aaron Ramsey always drift late into the box, always having some good goals, drifting from midfield, coming inside the box. I believe that Smith Rowe has this potential, and he's been doing it recently. He had the opportunity today, and he almost done it a few times today, but obviously he's a bit rusty. So hopefully going forward, when he gets back his confidence, when he get back into the swing of things, he will be better. Going forward and scoring clinical scoring goals. Declan Rice with a 7.6. Martin Odegaard with an 8.1. Martin Odegaard had a good match today. Bukayo Saka with an 8.2. For me, Saka is improving. He didn't have the best of match, but he's improving in the way he plays. Everyone marked him, understanding that he's a one-trick pony, especially when he's been doubled up and he ain't got nowhere to go. But Jesus with an 8.5 and Gabriel Martinelli. For me, these three was very, very instrumental to the way we played, especially Gabriel J. And it's something that I love to see. Gabriel J was switching different. Sometimes he's popping up on the left wing, Martinelli going inside. Sometimes he pop up on the right, Saka drifted out to the left and Martinelli going inside. It was brilliant to see. I love to see the way they were interchanging with each other. And for me, these are one of the reasons why we were so effective last season, because it's a similar thing we done last season. Sometimes you see Gabriel pop up on the right and basically do that 1-2, get inside the box. And we were so fluid when we started to play like that, especially. We were so fluid when we started to play like that. Even playing against a low block, they didn't have any answer. They did not know how to stop us when we started to do 1-2 on the edge of their box. When I go into the half spaces, you realize how brilliant Gabriel J was in this match. And for me, it was basically down to Gabriel J. So shots, we had 19 compared to the Nottingham Forest. Now, once again, 3 on target. I'm not even going to tell you how poor that was. I'm not even going to try to tell you on that poor. You should know by now what my thoughts are on shots on target compared to shots. We're having the same on target as Nottingham Forest when we had 19. Possession, we have 74 compared to their 26. Passes, we have 756 compared to theirs 260. Once again, because of the low block, we were finding ways. And for me, that was so annoying sometimes, because even the beginning of the second half, I vividly remember an incident where that we could attack. And then Martinelli getting the ball and passing back. I'm thinking, they're out of position. Bob down the wing, try to do something, try to get at them. Do you know what I mean? Do something. But Martinelli, that was frustrating a bit. Pass accuracy, we have at 89% compared to this 73. Now, this is another important image. Average players' position on the pitch. You can see the four. Zinchenko on the left, Gabriel Magalhaes on the just further behind, Saliba on the right, and then Benjamin White. You can see the bow arc, right? That's the back four, and basically a back two, and playing Zinchenko up top, up wide up, and Benjamin White while Declan Rice sitting, covering the defensive line. And I love to see this formation in the middle, whereas you see Odegaard on the right, you see Gabriel J up top, and then you see Emil Smith Rowe on the left. The two attacking mid with the striker. And because Gabriel keep drifting both sides, it's basically 5 playing up top. Sometimes they're overlapping on the right, sometimes they're overlapping on the left, because Gabriel J adds, when he plays on the left, he helps out Gabriel Martinelli, and he helps out Smith Rowe. And then when he drifts off to the right, he helps Saka and Odegaard as well. And then Zinchenko, he was so brilliant because he drifts over to that left hand side. Sometimes he even drifts to the right and spray the ball to the right. Zinchenko, brilliant, cutting the passes, brilliant. He done absolutely brilliant. And one of the things I see, as what I'm saying, sometimes I see Gabriel J having a chance to have a shot, and he lays it off. Too much I've seen that, and this is what I'm saying, we need to have more shots on target. In front of the goal like that is gonna be a shot on target. But don't get me wrong, defensively the Nottingham Forest was very good there. The Barilla guy I'm telling you about, he's everywhere, he was blocking everything. Now, these were the 5 best players on the pitch. Gabriel Jesus was the best, obviously, and he had a 13. He was in 13 duels, 7 being successful. And once again, if you know my channel, you know I always say the players that are involved in the most duels or win the most duels, they're gonna be on the winning side majority of the time, like 95% of the time. When it comes to the Saka, you can see that Saka is improving his defensive display. For the past few matches, he's having lots of tackles, and that shows you that he's helping him Benjamin White out on the right side, because this is it, that Saka's not been helping him in beginning half of the season, and this is why he was so exposed on that side. But now I'm starting to see that Saka is basically trying his hardest to help out Benjamin White on that side, and it was a brilliant effort once again today. Now, Zinchenko, as what I said, for me, was almost the man of the match. If it had not been for Gabriel J, I was so instrumental to our win, drifting to the left, drifting to the right, dropping back in midfield, and also scoring a goal. But Zinchenko had 107 passes, and 100 of them being successful at the 93%, and that's no easy thing, because most of the time Zinchenko is playing in the final third. Most of the time those passes that he's done are zinger passes, cutting through the midfield, cutting through the defensive lines, and doing 1-2 on the edge of the box. So it's not like he's no little normal passes that he's doing from the keeper to the defense. He's doing some brilliant passes, and for me, that's what I'm saying, that he had a superb match. So I have to give Zinchenko ratings. Now, once again, look at the ball progression, pass and carry. Now, when you take a look at Gabriel top seat, then you see Zinchenko in second, Bryce, Saka, Saliba. Now, this shows you that, listen, most of the time, the ball is in with the defenders. That shows you that our attackers didn't have much space to be carrying the ball a lot, right? The pass plus carry. When you check out the carrying, the defensive line is majority of the time high in the carries, the passing as well, because there is no space in the final third because it's so congested. So these are some of the stats we use to understand how defensive Nottingham Forest was, that our defenders were the main players having passes, the highest passing and carries. Everyone else is, look, then you got Rice, which is a defensive player. You got Saka done brilliant, to be fair. Sometimes I see him one-on-one situation and he got past his defender in that one-on-one situation. So that's what I'm saying. He's been afforded more space because Gabriel J is taking up a lot of spaces and drawing a lot of attention to him, as well as Smith Rowe, because they play so technical, and that gives more space to Saka to do his thing on the right. Now, high turnovers, we done absolutely brilliant because we were under like a heat. We were under like a rush. So we had lots of high turnovers, but for me, it was disappointing that only 2 of them led to a shot. Now, when you take a look, this is what I was saying about the zone 14 on our spaces. When you take a look at our spaces, for me, this is the highest our spaces result I've ever seen in a match from Arsenal, where we had 92 touches in the half spaces, 92. And once again, for me, it's because of Gabriel J. Gabriel J has been drifted to the left, drifted to the right, playing 1-2 with Saka and Odegaard, playing that triangle with Saka and Odegaard. Then he drifts over to the left, playing that triangle with Martinelli and Smith Rowe. So for me, Gabriel J was very instrumental, and also he's playing in the zone 14 as well, doing that triangle once again with Odegaard and Smith Rowe. So he keeps drifting, popping up in different areas, and this is how I want to see Gabriel J plays, because we get the best of him when he's roaming. When he's having a free roam, we get the best out of Gabriel J. it wasn't such of a disappointing match. We won 2-1. I expected a 3-1, but I did say 2-1 to be fair. But 2-1 or 3-1, I did. That was my scoreline, and we got a 2-1. And for me, I'm not disappointed. I know we conceded a late goal, but I blame William Saliba for that. I do totally, and I'm not going to come down harsh on him because he's been very solid for us for the past season of last season and from the beginning of the season. So to have a few hiccups here and there, it's understandable. He's only human, but going forward, that's something he needs to get rid of. He needs to learn how to play against aggressive players because he knows how to play some kind of the aggressive player, but the other times it's like he doesn't know what to do. And that's what I'm starting to realize with Saliba. Sometimes when he's up against certain type of player that gets certain decision against him, he doesn't know what to do. Perhaps it's the pressure of us, of the whole team, that's giving him certain pressures on himself. Perhaps that's the reason why. But for me, he's been acting up a bit lately in terms of mistakes, been making mistakes a lot. But yeah, I know I'm not really disappointed with that 2-1 result. Now we have to look forward to Liverpool. We got the 3 points. That's what we needed from this match. Now we have to look forward to Liverpool. Make sure we get 3 points against Liverpool, because then we'll be firmly in the mix of things. But if we go to Liverpool and lose, I can't see how we're gonna dig ourselves up from that, because it doesn't look like we're gonna get a signing. I thought that we might get a one-sided for the January, at least one-sided. But so we haven't got long left for the transfer window, and so far it doesn't look like we're gonna sign anyone. So hopefully we can get a good results against Liverpool. I'm not holding my breath, but so I'm not holding my breath against Liverpool because I expected us to beat them the first time we played in the season, and we didn't. So let's see what happens. Let's see what Arteta is going to come up with. And Partey, that's a possibility that Partey could be rested for that match. And if he's rested for that match, boy, that's going to be a brilliant. That's going to be a match out of the midfield. Because you know Trent is going to drift in midfield. They've got Slamat side. We've got Rice. You got Partey. That's going to be a match for the midfielders. Trust me. So they got Endos as well. So that's the video, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you thought of this match. If what you thought saw and Smith Rowe. How do you think Smith Rowe played? Should we start him against Liverpool? Those are the things I want to know. So leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Help me on my journey to 1,000 subs. Catch you next video. Goodbye.